Okay. Yeah. I will call the regular meeting for the Everett City Council to order Tuesday, July 13th at 6:30 p.m. Everybody please rise for a moment of silence, followed by pledge of allegiance. Amen. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item is consent agenda, reading of the minutes of previous meetings, June 1st, 2021 work session meeting, June 8th, 2021 regular meeting, and the financial reports, June 2021. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve consent agenda A and B as read.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Have any discussion?
Yes, I had a question regarding the extra salary that was coming out for the outgoing city manager. When is that going to be over?
It's completed now.
It is?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's over now, but it's already been expended, so there's no additional coming out.
Okay.
Sorry. Ashley.
No, that's okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, that ended January, right?
Yes,
Well, so it's
Yeah,
still at
it's-
the end of that
but
report.
it still affects the year-to-date total, so that's why
Okay.
I've left the comment in there. But yes, those payments have stopped.
Okay. My other question is regarding the salaries. Was there any reason why there was a delay on payment, and were any staff any staff not receive their salary?
No, ma'am. Everyone received their pay.
Okay, so what was the problem
On salaries?
with
He's
council?
talking about
Oh,
Yes.
it's a city count. Yeah, that was just an accounts payable delay. I don't know what the error was or what happened. It was just a delay. So city council got 2 months all at once.
Thank you.
It didn't affect payroll.
Do we have any other discussion? Poll the council.
Place 1,
Aye.
place 2,
Aye.
place 3,
Aye.
place 5,
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
motion carried.
Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and open up citizens' comments. We have a lady, what was her name again?
Janelle.
Janelle, if you want to come up. Just keep in mind that since you're not on the agenda, we're not allowed to converse back with you, but you can come up and say what you need to say.
Oh, no problem. Sweet, short. I've never been to one of these. I'm
That's all right. Welcome.
Janelle.
You're gonna have a good time.
Okay.
We don't bite.
I'm Janelle, and I moved to Everett in 2018. I heard a lot of nice things as far as family style living here. I have concerns is one, the streets, how bad they are. I stay on a corner lot. Can't remember the name of the street, but I'm on Langley, and this street right here, and the potholes are so big where it shakes my walls, my pictures shake. And so when I like call in to have them filled, they're not really filled. They're just, just a little in it. So those are my, and then I have a question. The water bill went up like $30. And so it doesn't seem like a lot for some, but it's just, I'm single, it's me. And so $55 up to $75 is a lot. And so I was just wanting to know, I know the cost of living goes up, I understand that. But when I look at my water bill and my actual water that I use is $20. And then the rest of it is, all the fees. And I noticed when the fees went up, the trash is not being picked up on the day that it should, just stuff like that. So I'm not one that, nag and complain. I just had those questions. I've been meaning to come, but like I said, life just got a hold of me. So like I said, I've been here since 2018, and so I just wanted to come and see what was going on. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Ma'am.
I wanted
That's
to
my
make a
card. You can shoot
comment.
me an email too if you
Okay,
want.
hold on
If you
one
have a question that you need answered, you can email me.
Let
I can
Craig
answer
finish
your
what he does.
questions. But you can certainly come up and tell council any opinions and stuff too.
Anybody else in the audience have anything? Okay, Johnny's got a comment.
I have a comment because they picked up our trash on Saturday and they didn't pick up recycling at all. And so, I mean, if they're not gonna pick it up, they could at least notify us because I mean, I don't sit out recycling, but I don't want my trash sitting out there the whole weekend. I just don't.
Craig.
Yes, ma'am. I'm
Craig,
gonna add that onto the agenda next week to be a discussion item. We're gonna call a special
Yeah.
meeting. I've already addressed the complaints that we had because we were also not.
Yeah,
notified.
they never even picked up the trash
And that's
or
not
the
the-
recycling.
It's not the
on our
first
street.
violation of the contract that we've had, so we're gonna add this onto the agenda.
To the special budget workshop.
I'm sorry. The next city council work session, we're gonna add it on there. I'm trying to get some questions answered from the company because it is a direct violation of their contract. We were not notified, so we couldn't notify citizens, and they were out picking up trash yesterday and this morning.
Well, what was interesting, I guess they were overfilled because the trash truck did go by, I guess to see how much they had and kept going, so.
I didn't really get much of an answer on that. I'm happy to share those email communications because I did blatantly ask for an explanation. I didn't get one. So,
Okay, so we'll drop down to discussion items. Item 1, water system issues and improvements, item 21139.
all right.
I thought Gilbert was gonna be here.
No, he told him to go.
Yeah, I
Okay.
told him I got it. That's the deal.
Fine.
So as y'all know, we hired a new director of public works last week. He started his first week here by doing an assessment over our water system and going out and performing this assessment on all the various well sites. And he has identified several critical issues that we have to address immediately. So I wanted to cover those issues with you tonight and make you aware of what the city is looking to do to address these issues. First off, at the high school, I went too fast. First off, at the high school well lot, we have a dilapidated and substandard electrical panels, a faulty motor starter and breakers, and the exhaust fans are not functioning. All of this is a TCEQ requirement to maintain compliance with TCEQ and led to an overall pump failure at that location. An electrician has already been out and assessed and temporarily repaired the electrical issue, but we're gonna have to replace the exhaust fans and get the electrical wiring corrected at the high school well site. And that's just a couple of pictures there to show you the exposed wiring and dilapidated system that we've got at that site. Chlorinators. Chlorinators are essentially a device that connects to the chlorine bottles that regulate the amount of chlorine treatment added to the water system. 3 of our chlorinators were deemed inoperable and needed to be replaced immediately. We went ahead and ordered the replacements as well as borrowed additional to make sure that our water system maintained compliance. And the cost for those chlorinators was approximately $10,000. When the other ones come in, they will be added onto the system. These are pictures of our current chlorinators. These are automatic chlorinators. Gilbert's recommendation was to convert these from automatic to manual chlorinators because our system is not big enough that we cannot man the manual chlorinators and that it operates very easily. We have individuals that go out to these well sites every single day anyway to perform other checks that are required by TCEQ. And to be a more cost-effective approach, he recommended manual rather than automatic. The automatic ones were going to cost us about $5,000–6,000 a piece. So we decided to go ahead and move forward with purchasing the manual chlorinators.
How many are needed to be replaced?
It doesn't change hers, it's hers. Can you push that
It's 3.
up on the left?
Just
Push that
3?
minimize
Yeah.
button.
Just 3 of them.
That one.
Minimize it.
Yep. There
Thank
you go. I'm sorry, say that again, ma'am. What was your question?
Oh, I just asked how many needed to be replaced.
3 of them. At the police department well site, there were 2 booster pumps that failed. At this location, a contractor will be removing those pumps and evaluating their condition. The contractor at first glance believes that both these pumps have to be replaced, and that cost is yet to be determined. So we should know something about that within the next week or so, but those are going to be critical parts of the infrastructure that we're going to have to replace promptly. The exhaust fans at this location are also not functioning and require replacement. That's not an extreme cost. And then all the electrical at this location needs to be replaced, but at the PD well site, that's a site that's already within the scope of work for the bond package that was pulled. We're planning to put in a new chlorinator room and things over there. So we're evaluating if there is a need to address the electrical issues right now, or if that's already going to be included in the scope of work when we replace those 2 storage tanks in that chlorination building. These are just some more pictures of the dilapidated electrical at our pump well sites. The one down here on the right where you see the tree growing inside, that's at the PD well site. That is a tree growing inside the well site. One of the reasons, fortunately, it's about to be replaced.
What's the trick?
No, the building. The Shelby well site, we had one booster pump that has failed and is inoperable. That booster pump is also in the process of being removed and inspected for repairs. Still an unknown cost estimate at this time. Also wanted to make sure all the council was aware the city of Irvin is currently behind on state mandated reporting requirements. This is due to an overlap between having a director of public works. TCEQ is aware of this. We're already communicating with TCEQ. Safety standards, however, were never compromised and have not been compromised. Only the reporting standards are delinquent. Water quality testing has been continual with laboratory tests and satisfactory results. So there's no issue to be concerned about the quality or the safety of the drinking water. Public Works Department is currently working to correct the reporting deficiencies. Reason why I'm letting you know is because this is going to be an unforeseen expense that is going to adversely impact the budget, and give you as much of a heads up as I possibly can. I don't know how much. We knew coming into this when we reviewed the water rates. We talked about the water fund reserve and how minimal that was, and that's why we had to address the water rate issue. And there was only roughly $10,000 in it at that time, while the chlorinators alone have wiped that out. So we're going to have to address these other pump issues as we move forward, but I will certainly keep council apprised of that as we go.
Is this going to affect the budget meetings?
No, it won't affect the actual meetings happening. It may affect next year's budget and how we're going to
It
address
will
that.
be a discussion item next week. Yes, ma'am.
So I say, we kind of need to know a little bit about how
Yeah.
much before we continue on.
Right. So what Gilbert is doing is he is identifying emergent issues that we have to address, that we cannot delay, things that we have to get fixed right away. And we're only going to fix those right now. As we are in the budget process and looking to correctly allocate funds towards that next year. Things that we can postpone, we'll include those in the budget process for next year.
Will any of the rescue funds be able to be applied to that?
So as a part of my city manager report today, I'm going to talk about the American Rescue Plan Act, actually, and we're going to go in depth. But in short, yes and no. Some can, some can't. The engineer is going to have to assess whether or not repairs to the current system will qualify under what the federal government refers to as the EPA drinking water safety regulations. If it falls underneath that, then yes, ARPA funds can be spent on those. If it doesn't meet those regulations, then no, we can't spend the funds on it.
Is that it?
That's it. That's all the bad news I've got for you. I think the rest is good news today.
Does anybody have any questions as far as the water system issues and improvements go? Okay, we'll drop down to item 2, Hannah Ranch Phase 4 update, item 21138.
I'm sorry, Mayor, give me just 1 second. Yeah, I think so. Click invite, see if it pops up. No, it's not gonna pop up. Okay, you have to click copy invitation link on the bottom left.
Hey, Craig?
No.
I left something off.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and read it while you guys are figuring that out. Citizens wishing to make comments should email mparks@edmondtx.net, mparks@edmondtx.net. Citizens' comments received prior to the meeting adjourned will be read to the council. Just jumped right over that.
And she's working on sending a Zoom invite to Councilwoman Davila. On the, you want me to go ahead and continue? Wait.
Yeah, well, we're on
hasn't read it
the
yet.
Hannah Ranch Phase 4 updates.
Okay. I just wanted to provide a quick update on the Hannah Ranch Phase 4. This is the residential 202 home residential development that's going in off of Roy C. Brooks. Those plans have been submitted and they are currently in the review process. The city engineer is reviewing those plans right now, along with his firm to include the drainage plans and so forth associated with the subdivision. We're expecting to have those plans back with his comments this week. Our Public Works Department, our Fire Marshal, Economic Development, and City Manager will all also perform a review on those plans and provide any comments and submit those back to the developer by Friday. If there are any mandated changes to the plans, they'll have the time to get that back to us. They feel like they'll have that back to us within a week. We'll make sure that those plans are satisfactory. Once those plans are approved by the city and approved by the developer's engineer, they plan to begin construction on Phase 4 immediately, within a week of the approval. So
What phase is it that's off of Forest Hill Drive?
you're gonna get me lying. I'm assuming Phase 3, but that's an assumption, just because I know that's the phase right before ours. But I don't know for sure if that's actually what it's referred to or if it's all referred to as Phase 4. But I will try to find that out for you.
Do we have any questions on the Hannah Ranch Phase 4?
Are they planning on putting a road that goes from Roy C. Brooks to Forest Hill Drive?
So there will be residential roads that connect into that portion of the neighborhood. There won't be a direct road that connects from Roy C. Brooks to Forest Hill Drive. However, those neighborhoods will interconnect within that development itself. Bell will not connect. Bell was closed off by the city 7-8 years ago, I believe, when it was shut down. So Bell Street will not connect, but the residential neighborhood roads will connect and intertwine through that whole area.
Now, it's a gated community, right?
It is not gated. It is an
Okay, I thought it
HOA, but
was.
it is not gated.
Okay.
I did ask that
HOA?
question.
Yeah, homeowners association.
And you said these houses are gonna be like around 100 and what?
$200,000 to $250,000.
200.
Yes.
Okay.
3 to 4 bedroom, 2-story on 110 by 40 lots.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, we drop down to new business. Consideration possible action. Item 1, consideration and action to approve interlocal agreement between the City of Everman and the Everman Independent School District for school resource officer services effective August 1st, 2021 and ending July 31st, 2022, and authorizing the city manager to execute said agreement, item number 21135. So I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve 21135.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. Craig,
And there's no proposed changes. This is the annual renewal of the interlocal agreement between us and the school district. No proposed changes, including the price. We did not request a price increase this year due to the pending retirement of the most senior officer within that division. So we'll actually see a cost reduction in the expenses related to SRO services.
Will the same officers be returning back to the same school?
With the exception of Sergeant Spradley. He will not be returning, but Corporal Kilgore will be returning and Officer Sneed will be returning. As far as a third SRO, that hasn't been determined yet.
I thought they were seeking a fourth at one while, weren't they?
They've talked a lot back and forth. They did want to pursue a fourth and a fifth if we could get it grant funded. However, with changes in the federal administration, that fund was discontinued this last cycle. So if that grant is refunded in the future, then we will seek that grant then too. My opinion is as the school district continues to grow and sees a significant increase in the population, I think the presence needs to increase as well.
any other discussions? Would you poll the council?
Place 1,
Aye.
place 2,
Aye.
place 3,
Aye.
place 5,
Aye.
place 6,
Aye.
Miriam, you there?
Yes, I.
She said
No.
aye.
She said aye.
I saw her mouth.
You can't hear her.
Sorry, just a little congested.
You're muted.
No, it's ours. It's ours.
Okay.
How about now, Miriam?
I.
There we go.
Mayor, motion carried.
Okay, item 2, consideration and action to approve the contract for mosquito management with Municipal Mosquito as provided and authorizing the city manager to execute this said contract on behalf of the city. Item 21136. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve 21136.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion?
Will that be effective this year or next year?
It'll become effective immediately, so we can begin using services as soon as that contract's executed.
So have you decided how it was going to be used as far as once or twice a year? Or
Not as far as a number of years. I think right now we just use it as a nuisance abatement when we start getting complaints or seeing an issue. For sure, we need to do at least one spray pretty promptly due to the complaints we've been getting from residents about the mosquitoes. So we'll do this one spray. It's going to be kind of a trial and error. We don't know how long this spray is going to be effective, and we'll just have to kind of play it by ear and see how it goes over the next few months. Maybe we'll get a freeze next month and it'll kill them off.
Yeah, right.
I can dream.
Any other questions? Poll the council.
Place 1,
I.
place 2,
Aye.
place 3,
Aye.
place 5,
Aye.
place 6.
I.
Mayor,
Aye.
motion carried.
Item 3, consideration and action to approve the utilization of the $20,000 incentives line item for Veterans Memorial Park expenditures as approved and recommended by the Economic Development Commission. Item 21140. I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve 21140.
A second.
Motion made and seconded. Craig, do you want to?
Yeah, I can.
Explain.
So pretty much in short, the Economic Development Commission within their budget has a $20,000 line item to provide incentives to businesses that may have an interest in locating in the city of Everman. That $20,000 has not been sought after this year. There have been no incentives assigned, so that line item has not been touched. The EDC director brought forth the recommendation to the Economic Development Commission requesting that line item be reallocated towards the Memorial Park for the purchase of the required the
Monuments.
Well,
yeah, it's not the
The
monument,
molds.
the molds. Thank you. That's the word.
molds,
That's the word. I was
Field
looking for.
dirt.
The molds for the
somebody to do
monuments.
the brickwork.
Yeah, the
It's
molds for the
various
monuments and so
expenses
forth.
related to.
The company Advanced Cast Stone has agreed to donate all the materials and things and build those with the labor and just finish out a good majority of the Memorial Park over there.
Do we know
EDC
how
did
much?
approve
Oh,
that.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Do we know about how much more is going to be required?
I don't. That would probably be a more a better question for Michael Nicoletti. I can't imagine once the monuments and things are up. I can't imagine that there's much more to address after that.
Other than getting the groundwork done or completed, the water system completed.
That's done.
It is?
Yeah, the irrigation system is in.
Okay. Well, yeah, but
They're capped high until the fill dirt's in, but
Yeah.
we've got the tops to put on them. I mean, that's
Okay.
not an expenditure of any
then I
type.
believe he was talking about the different flags to go behind the,
The POWMIA.
Mhm.
other than those,
I believe we've purchased all
he
the
was
flags.
talking about the military flags for the 5 up front that'll go behind their markers.
Oh, okay.
So
I didn't know.
if I heard him correctly,
Okay.
a majority of it's going to be done. So
Yeah,
I mean,
this
it's
is
really come
probably
along.
going to be the last significant
Like a
expenditure
medallion.
associated with it. The lighting equipment was all donated.
Yeah.
We're just going to have to pay for the labor to get the electrical put in. We're still waiting on Encore to drop a transformer on the site. So most of the large expenditure items are covered for that part.
We've been lucky with donations for some of this.
So if anybody can find a tank or a plane or something they want to put out there, then we'd be glad to take it.
I'll see what I can do.
Well, we do have a pad for a static display.
Yeah.
and
Why don't you get with the Historical Society? They might be able to get that for you.
Get with Carnesville Air Force Base and get one of those retired jets.
Mhm.
I know Nicola's working on it, so trying to find something for that one pad. So it's going to be amazing when it's done. So any other discussion on that? Poll the council.
Place 1,
Aye.
place 2,
Aye.
place 3,
Aye.
place 5,
Aye.
place 6,
Aye.
Mayor,
Aye.
motion carried.
Okay, we're going to drop down to item 9, the city manager's report.
We can't go into discussion on this, but I do just want to briefly run down the plan for the American Rescue Plan Act. We did finally receive a good amount of guidance and information on how this plan or how this act is going to be funded. And I wanted to go through that in detail with council because the timeline on this has been significantly shortened by the governor of Texas. We've been provided with a deadline of August 2nd to apply for these funds. I've already begun that application process and all the required steps with DUNS and SAM.gov and the county and the state on getting this portion of the funds. So I wanted to go through what these funds are and how we're allowed to use them. There is a significant difference between the CARES Act funding and the CLFRF funds, which is what these are, the fiscal recovery funds. The federal initiatives, when they passed the American Rescue Plan Act, they broke it up essentially into 2 different groups. And they had their federal initiative side, which focused significantly on public health, school districts, and various programs. And then there was another amount that was allocated towards fiscal recovery. The total bill was $1.9 trillion. The amount allocated towards fiscal recovery was $350 billion. Of that $350 billion, the state of Texas got $15.8 billion. Tarrant County itself got $409 million. Tarrant County is an entitlement entity, which means that they get their funding directly from the Department of Treasury. We have a population of less than 50,000, so therefore we are what's called a non-entitlement unit. So we have to get our funding through the state. And the state has elected to use the Texas Department of Emergency Management and their grant portal to be able to get those funds. Everman has been allocated just a little over $1.5 million in fiscal recovery fund money.
I think the county would float some our way, that 400 million.
We can ask. I doubt
Sure.
it, but we can ask.
Doesn't hurt to ask.
The fiscal recovery fund is essentially direct aid to state and local governments. We have to finalize our allocation by December 31st, 2024. And we have to make sure that all of these funds are spent, gone, and projects are completed no later than December 31st, 2026. I don't think we're going to have an issue with meeting
No
those
problem there.
deadlines. So what can these funds be used for? There's several different eligible uses. We can use them for public health, economic impacts, premium pay, revenue loss, and infrastructure investments. We cannot use them to refund a pension fund deposit or offset reduction in revenue due to taxes or changes in law or other things of those sorts. Public health uses. Eligible expenditures under the public health section build and expand upon permissible public health expenditures in the CARES Act. Essentially, we have to identify an effect of COVID-19 on public health, identify both the near and long-term effects that may manifest from the pandemic, and then determine how the use would respond to or address the identified need. Some examples include vaccination programs, purchase of PPE, public communication efforts, support the prevention in congregate settings, provision of medical care, public health and safety staff, public health staff, public safety staff, healthcare staff, human services staff, and similar employees, Improving the design and execution of public health programs. Overall, we will have maybe a couple of programs or projects that focus within this area. However, fortunately, we're within Tarrant County, which has one of the best public health departments in the country, which is receiving a significant amount of funding directly through the public health portion of the American Rescue Plan Act. So we will rely and focus heavily on things like vaccination programs and public communication efforts through the county levels program. Economic impact uses, we can respond to identified negative economic impact, and it must be reasonable and proportional to the extent and type of harm experienced. I'm going to go ahead and just inform council that we're not going to qualify for much underneath the economic impact usage, but there are a couple of caveats to that.
Could you name some examples of that?
The primary focus of the economic impact use is the hospitality and entertainment district. Because of the government shutdown, the hospitality and entertainment district suffered a significant loss in revenue. That revenue was reflected to municipalities and the loss of sales tax revenue. In Everman, fortunately for us, we don't rely heavily upon an entertainment district or hospitality district. So we actually saw a very slight increase in sales tax during that pandemic due to online purchasing. When you purchase something online, those sales tax come back to the address of where the product was delivered. So we had many more residents purchasing things online due to the pandemic, which means we actually saw a small increase. So we don't have much quote unquote harm as the government refers to.
What, can I ask another question? What does the affordable housing development to increase the affordability of housing supply? What would that be?
I'm sorry, where are you at?
The next page, probably. Yes.
Oh, okay.
The impact usage.
Investment in housing.
Affordable housing development to increase affordable housing supply. I'll have to look in a little bit more in that. Probably, yeah, it's going to be more HUD style things. County may be getting direct funding for specific programs like that. I think with the minimal amount that we're receiving, I would be worried how much of assistance with households and rent and mortgage and utility assistance and legal aid we'd be able to provide. Not just because of not having the funds there to actually provide, but we would also have to cover the expense of any overhead. So we'd have to cover management programs, all that kind of stuff to be able to put together a program such as that.
Well, the county does have those programs in place, so
Correct.
that's not something we have to worry about.
Premium pay. The premium pay section allows local governments to provide premium pay of up to $13 an hour, not to exceed $25,000 per employee, to eligible workers performing essential work during the pandemic and provide grants to employers with eligible employees. The income ceiling for premium pay eligibility provided in the IFR is 150% of the area average annual wage. For the DFW region, the income ceiling. My typo. The income ceiling is $84,285 or $40.52 per hour. Eligible staff includes nursing homes, hospitals, public health, janitors, any sort of essential worker. Revenue loss. ARPA allows for local governments to utilize federal relief funds to close the service gap resulting from pandemic-related revenue loss. However, there are some important considerations to give. There's a difference between the volatility of a city and county revenue structure, sales tax versus property tax, and funds cannot be treated as direct general revenue replacement. There are restrictions on eligible services. Some eligible services include health services, provision of police, fire, and other public safety services, and maintenance of pay-as-you-go funded building of infrastructure. That includes roads. Ineligible expenses would be expenses associated with debt obligations, interest or principal of outstanding debt, replenish financial reserves, any obligation under or pursuant to a court order. This is probably the big one everybody's thinking about, investments in infrastructure. The interim rule provides state and local government with broad latitude to identify high priority investments in water, sewer, and broadband infrastructure. Any project that we have must be eligible project under the EPA's Clean Water State Revolving Fund. That's the name of that fund I was trying to say earlier. And the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund. So if we can identify water and sewer projects that qualify underneath one of those two fund programs, they will qualify for funding underneath the ARPA funds. The Treasury does have the lawful authority to take the money back if for some reason a local government misuses it. There's 3 steps to that. They must identify and provide a notice of violation. They will submit a request for reconsideration of the use of those funds. And if no further action is taken or that's not corrected, then they will force repayment of those funds.
Okay, now back on the investments in infrastructure.
Yes, ma'am.
There where it says be provided to underserved or unserved households and businesses.
That's related to broadband. If the city of Everman wished to invest into broadband infrastructure, high-speed internet, then it must be provided to underserved or unserved households and businesses. We in Everman would not qualify for the broadband investment because we have that already provided to and available in our area.
Okay, now it was talking about educators and other school staff. Will Everman ISD have be able to apply for Everman's part, or do they have a set amount for schools?
They will be funded separately underneath. See how ARPA branches off on the screen right here? It goes to the right and has federal initiatives. Underneath that, there is $209.2 billion allocated solely towards school funding. So the Everman ISD qualifies to apply for their funds through that federal initiative separately from the Fiscal Recovery Fund.
Okay.
So you're not taking ours.
So from an administrative standpoint, we're going to go ahead and continue through with the application process through the state and then ultimately the federal government to try to get these funds allocated. It hasn't been very clear how detailed our application needs to be and if we have to identify exactly what projects need to be submitted. This is very fluid and learn as you go. I'm learning something new about this every single day, but we are staying on top of it, and we will make sure that we take the appropriate steps to get the 1.5 million that's been allocated to the city of Everman. As far as projects, I have already sent out the information to all of the directors of the departments to begin submitting their ideas and concepts for projects that would qualify underneath ARPA. I'm hoping to start getting those projects in within the next couple of weeks so we can then bring those back to council or the Planning and Zoning Committee if council chooses to elect that committee to review these. We will then prioritize and select those projects based off of your input or the Planning and Zoning Committee's input. Any other questions that I can try to answer?
I guess we're good with that for the time being.
We got the list.
A couple other things underneath the city manager report. I just wanted to let everybody know Celebrate America Festival was a huge success. We've received so many compliments on the festival. We're already talking about what we're going to be doing next year. We're going to be having a debriefing to see what we can improve on and see what we can do better in the future. But overall, we were thrilled with the success of the event. The bidding for the Twin Mountain water well, the Columbine well site that was a part of the 2020 bond package, closed today. The engineer initially estimated the cost of that water well to be somewhere around the $1 million mark. It came in at $700 and something thousand. So we're almost $300,000 under what was originally estimated. So that's going to be a cost savings for us within that bond package. So that's good news.
How many bids did you get?
One. And the engineer warned me it was probably only going to be one bid because there are not many companies out there that do the full water wells. And most of them were being hammered right now and are seeing an increase in services. So a lot of them are kind of steering away from water well work. But he did mention that the bidder today was a qualified candidate. He is going to do the final review, and we'll bring back a recommendation next month at the regular city council meeting to accept that bid as long as the engineer approves it. Library grand reopening is this Saturday. Just a reminder, it starts at 10 a.m. and ends at 2 p.m. It's going to be a come and go event. There'll be snacks. The library board met today and talked significantly about the plans for it, and I'm excited and hope to be able to see you all there. It has been posted, correct? Yeah, it has been posted, so no issues about a quorum being present if you guys are there. And the fire station ribbon cutting has been postponed to August 7th at 9. I know the Facebook said 4 a.m. I am so glad I wasn't wearing a gun because I almost shot my computer. Susan's my witness. I tried changing the time so many times. I put in 9 a.m. and it'd go back to 4 a.m. I put in 2 p.m. and it went to 7 a.m. I finally got it fixed after guessing, and so now it's up there. The last piece of information I wanted to share is I provided a handout to everybody. It's a letter.
Yeah.
If you recall, this was the grant application that we submitted through the U.S. House Appropriations Committee in Mark Vesey's office for youth revitalization programs within the city of Everman, which included a day camp program, park improvements to include a new walking and jogging trail all the way around the park, new park equipment, upgraded fencing, scoreboards, lighting at the fields, and so forth. And I received word today that has been approved and is put into the budget for starting in September.
All right.
Hey, congratulations.
$414,000.
All right.
A copy of that, please.
Yes, ma'am. Is it not up there?
They're not up here.
Can I get one
No,
too?
they're not up there.
Did I not?
Another grant we got to wait for. We've been approved for, we're just waiting for the funds.
I swear I did that.
That's fine. At least we've been approved. That's great.
I got one.
Thank you. How long will it be before they issue the funds?
It'll be in September. It'll be the federal fiscal year runs from September to August.
Yeah.
Yep. So it'll come September 1. We'll get the guidance on exactly how we receive those funds and all the many beautiful federal steps we have to go to make sure that we spend them appropriately. There is a significant amount of regulations that come when you receive federal funding. So it'll be just like the CARES Act and the ARPA funds and everything else. We're going to have to jump through all kinds of hoops,
Lots of documentation,
but we'll make sure we do it to see it through.
but the timing is perfect because with the new Annex Civic Center coming and all of the spending of those funds this coming year, it's gonna all come together.
Well, I can't wait till we have the final numbers like on Wichita Street, Forest Hill, all these, and
Right.
actually be able to show how many millions of dollars are going into our area. So it's going to be a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. You got
I'm
anything else,
excited
Greg?
about all the improvements we're getting in Everman.
It's slow work, but it's happening.
You got anything else?
No, sir. That's all I've got.
Okay. All I want to say is I'm going to go ahead and do the mayor's report quickly. Saturday out here had a lot of people stopping me, and I know Craig and Nicoletti, and just complimenting us on everything that's happening here in the city. A lot of them said it's about time. So we got a lot of positive feedback from a lot of our residents. So they see what's going on and they're happy. So just want to pass that on. Okay, so we will go into executive session pursuant to section 551.071, chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code. Council reserves the right to convene into executive sessions from time to time as deemed necessary during the meeting to receive advice from its attorneys on any posted agenda item as permitted by law. Additionally, council may convene into executive session to discuss the following. Item A, pending or contemplated litigation or seek the advice of the city attorney pursuant to section 551.071, discussion regarding possible purchase, sale, exchange, lease, or value of real property pursuant to section 551.072, and personnel matters pursuant to section 551.074. Item 1 is personnel issues, item 21137. So we go into executive session. The time is 7:14. Okay, so now we need to stay here since she's,
We can convene in my office if you want. We can call her on the phone.
okay. Did you hear that, Miriam?
Yes, I heard that.
Okay, we'll call you on the phone.
Okay.
Yep, okay.
I'm
So
back.
I'll call the meeting back to order. The time is 8:25. No action was taken from executive session. Citizens' comments, do we have anything? Okay, no citizens'
You wanna say
comments.
We've already talked.
He's the wrong one to talk to, though. Okay, well, that being said, we are adjourned.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Good evening. Bye.
Bye, hope you
Bye.
feel better.
Thank you. Bye-bye.